Right, here we go. How much of this do I have to reload? Right, here we go. How much? Right, I think we're online. We are. Welcome back. Look at this. It's all working. Okay. First thing, audio. I have no microphone plugged in. I'm going to be walking around. I don't have a wireless mic. So the audio pickup is from the laptop here. So I'm sorry. It's going to be good or bad or whatever. Here we go. This is the first of the stacks we did a few hours ago. It's face down now because this is as we left it. So what I'm going to do, take sheet number 1, which is face down, flip it over. So the top 2 sheets are now back to back. Jog it off. Reach over for a clip. We've now got 2 sheets back to back, and I'm going for a walk. Cables everywhere. And up she goes. How much you want to bet I trip over that? They've got to dry, and they've got to dry as slowly as possible. We've got plastic here. After I've finished hanging them, I'm going to pull the plastic around. It's quite a damp summer day today, so we don't need anything more. But if this was winter, I would have to pull the plastic around and then put a humidifier, putting up moisture from the bottom so that they don't dry too quickly. If they dry quickly, we're dead. They warp and they twist. Very difficult to print on. But if they dry slowly, they dry flat. And they're back to back. So if we get any tiny bit of stickiness, they're loose actually. 2 sheets, but they're actually loose. But the reason we put it back to back is so that if there was a little bit of stick to it, it won't hurt the front. So as I said, it's face down, flip it over. Top one is face up, second one is face down. Tease them out, wet paper, it's really, really soft. It's really fragile at this point. Curing time. There's no real curing time. I left them long enough so that the water would smooth out. Water, I mean the glue. The glue water mixture would smooth out. I don't really know what's the best time. This seems to be enough. Couple of hours. Seems to be enough. I was doing this last week and hung it up, and one of the girls was still in the other room printing. And she's not quite with the program. I hung them all up, got it all ready, closed the plastic sheets, want them to dry as possible, and closed the doors for the room. And I thought she knew about this, but she hadn't known about it. So when she left that night, she left the door open. So that night, the paper dried quite a bit too quickly. And she paid for it because she had to print on paper that was a bit wrinkly. But whatever, we all learn bit by bit. Winter's more difficult. It's much more sticky. It gets hard quicker, of course. Summer it's much easier. Yeah, there's people just joining the stream that didn't see the previous stream. Ha ha ha. We did a stream a couple of hours ago when I was applying a glue mixture to the paper with a brush. It's the previous stream. If you're curious, you can look it up. It's still there. I used a wide brush to apply a glue mixture to the paper. The paper, as we get it from the paper maker, is too soft and weak for printing. We have to size it. I think we've done okay tonight. It's all right. This one's a bit stuck to the board. Always sheet number 1 is difficult. What's this, NHK? Was there a rebroadcast tonight? I haven't done one for quite a while. It must be a rerun. Okay, there's group 1. Group 2, slightly wider paper. This is the paper for Kuboto-san. He'll be printing some Hiroshi Yoshida night scenes. This has come out nice. I'm happy with this work tonight. Those of you who don't know the geography, I'm in the middle room upstairs on the 3rd floor. Over there's the kitchen where I did the sizing work a couple of hours ago. I'm in the middle room, which is going to become an office over the next couple of months with our new manager starting. And through there is the printer's room with the 4 printers. 4 printers, the 2 printers. It's 4 printing stations with 2 printers now working. There's of course nobody here at this time of day. It's 8 o'clock at night. So look at that program, Dave the Antique. He's a nice guy, really nice guy. Honest, help you. Really, really nice guy. Crazy though, totally crazy. Yeah, we made them all ourselves, of course. You can't buy stuff like this. So what we did was actually, we got, if I move here, the audio will disappear. We got clothes pegs with no ridges inside. And they're interesting. They're called stagio. Clothes pegs specially made for women's underwear. And they have no roughness inside. So it's for like super delicate fabrics. So it's fine. They pinch the paper and don't leave any marks. Underwear clothespins. In Japan, I have no idea. There's a picture on my website a million years ago. If somebody will search for this for me, if you search for the word Misawa-san, it's a guy's name, Misawa, and the sizing, something like this. He's the paper sizer who we used to use for our work. I interviewed him for my website, I don't know, 28 years ago or something, whenever it was. I interviewed him for my newsletter. There's a picture of his workshop there. He does this part of it a different way. He's got the clips hanging up already. He's got a room full, rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of clips up on the ceiling. When he gets to this point, he's dealing with big paper. He can't pick it up himself and then do the clip thing. So he and his wife work together. He does the brushing part in the morning. Over the lunch break, the stack of 500 sheets or something that he did in the morning gets smoothed out. Then he and she spend the afternoon doing this part together. He picks up each sheet or each pair of sheets, puts it up there, and she manipulates the clip to clip it and then says, let go. And I watched them do that during that visit all those years ago. And when it came our time to do it, I'm thinking like, well, I don't have a wife here to do it for one thing, nor would I ask her to do it for another thing. Do we really need two people to do this job? So, this is not rocket science. It didn't take long to figure out that if we take the clips off the roof, leave the strings on the roof, hold the clips here, one person can clip the two sheets. Up they go. We don't really need two people to spend all day doing this. But that's the way they do it. Did somebody find it? Maybe. Misawa, yeah. Conversations, images, I don't know. Anyway, that's the guy, Misawa. So we don't talk to him anymore, unfortunately. He and I had rather a big, whatever, doesn't matter. Stuff doesn't need to be talked about. So. People are difficult sometimes, maybe me too. Might be easier if we swap the position of the laptop and the paper. I'm not going to mess around with it now. I just got about 10 sheets left. Actually, I can't. The laptop is plugged into the camera by Thunderbolt, and it's at the absolute extension of the cord, so the laptop can't come any. If you're talking about move the laptop over here, it can't happen. It's at the longest extension of the cord. I'm sorry. Here we are. It's starting to get. Look at this. It's starting to get a bit sticky. We waited just about long enough, I think. Yeah, the last one's always sticky, sticky, sticky. The sheets are going up in a particular, the same order that I did them. So the one here now, this is number 1 and 2. You can see it's got that little green tape still on it. And when I'm cutting the paper after it's dried, ready to send to the printer, I'll make a pencil mark on the back of those. So the first sheet that I did for sizing, which is the wishy-washy kind of sheet, it was the one on the table. I wasn't so ready to go, who knows, whatever. He can use that same sheet for his first run. He's testing color, testing pigments, whatever. So minimizes wastage. One more batch. Where is it? Every stage of the process, the first one is always a bit iffy. So if you keep it the same sheet of paper, it really minimizes wastage. Speaking of test runs, do you use any offcuts to have a test print on? Yes. And the printers have, there's always little bits of paper left at the end. They've got a batch of, just a bag of little bits of offcuts and pieces and this and that and this and that. Anytime we're doing a batch of prints, oh, now I'm in trouble. Did I flip this over or not? I'm thinking I flipped that over already. It's really hard to tell. That's the front. I think I flipped this over. Yeah, that looks good. Whatever, what's the question? Test print, yeah, whatever. Little pieces of paper. When they're getting their normal printing paper ready, they also get test little bits of pieces. So of course, each time they're testing a color or testing a block or trying a brush, they slap a little piece of paper on the block to try it. Okay, don't touch that before you look at the question here. Yeah, right, end the stream, check the video. You're right. Well, question for later on, okay, hi. We've got about 4 pairs left, I think, and that's it. It's a real easy night tonight. This hasn't been all that interesting, I'm sorry. It's just another step in the way, another stage in the process. Next month or so, when the Kickstarter campaign is ramped up and we're getting the orders through for those prints, we'll be doing this in much bigger batches. Lisa and I will be doing it together, taking turns spelling each other off. We'll be using our sizing machine much, much more. Recycling the washi sheets, yes and no. Way back when I first started getting this nice paper, I talked to our paper maker about that these offcuts, and when we trim the edges and stuff like that, bits that hadn't got colored with any pigment, I kept bags and bags and bags of them, thinking that he would want them, because they're raw, just raw mulberry fiber. And his answer was, thanks, but no thanks. He appreciated the idea that the offcuts and those little scraps and stuff could be recycled. But the problem is, these mulberry fibers, the fiber from the bark, they're actually quite long. They're like 2.5, 3 centimeters long. And when they're all rocked into the paper, those 2-3 centimeter long fibers form this hugely strong network of fiber. That's one reason why our paper is so vividly strong. So you've seen me, wet paper, rubbing the back of it, bang, 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 bang. And when you cut the stuff into those little thin strips, almost every cut you make has cut in half or shredded up some of those fibers. So the recycled stuff would have, if we rolled that stuff back in, it would have much shorter fibers. And for pros like us, we would not want that. So he can't take our recycled stuff and mix it back into his vat for real paper making. But what we do is, or I was going to say what I did up until a couple of years ago, there was what they call a silver center in Ome. It's a place where retired people get together to do stuff. They do volunteer gardening for people. They do this or that. A bunch of those guys do printmaking, like making New Year's cards and stuff. And I kept my offcuts for years and years and years. And finally, one of these guys, they came over in a car and they picked up giant garbage bags that I had filled over the years with all these offcuts. And they went back and they made paper out of it. Beautiful paper. From their point of view, they could not buy for love or money such expensive material. So they made paper out of it for their community printmaking team. Okay, here we go. That's it. What I'm going to do now is, excuse me, borrow one of my clips, so I didn't get a clip ready for this. Do this. Too tight. There we go. Trivial, such a small amount of work, it's no big deal. Real sizing happens hundreds and hundreds of sheets at a time. We fill that rack end to end, front to back. that's it. That's tonight's work. Clap, clap, clap. Okay, as always, I haven't read the previous chat stream, you know, from a couple of hours ago. I was too busy grabbing myself a bite. I'll read them again. And what's the schedule? It's Saturday night. Sunday will be a normal schedule. 8 o'clock in the morning, I'll be downstairs carving the octopus. And somewhere around 5:30 in the evening, if all goes well, I'll be doing some more carving on that. So thank you for participating. I'll read this and I'll try and catch up on the questions. See you tomorrow if you'll be around. Thank you again. Sorry for the bit of a strange stream today, but there it is.